Not that I'll sleep any, I don't suppose.
You should try.
I'm so tired.
Oh, no.
It's like a relief. I feel I could shut my eyes and sleep forever and ever. Is that bad?
Why don't you take a sleeping pill?
Don't seem right.
He wouldn't want you to be like this, would he? I'll call the doctor in the morning.
What's up?
I was wondering if you've spoken to a legal advisor.
No, not yet.
Why not?
I will. I'll do it today.
This isn't going to go away, you know.
I know. I guess I hoped it would.
Jude, you missed a house call. The boy's appendix perforated. You don't need me to tell you how serious it could have been.
No, I don't.
I'm not having a go. I just want you to be prepared. The mother's making a formal complaint. It's serious.
I know it is. I just can't believe I've been so stupid.
Well, none of us perfect.
We're supposed to be, though, aren't we?
Goodbye, my darling. This is Mrs. Jordan. I need to speak to a doctor. It's my brother-in-law. He died during the night.
Sorry we're late. My car does not like the cold mornings.
I'm sure your patients don't either. Shall I send the first one straight through?
Well, give me a minute. Have a coffee.
It's important to prioritise.
I'll get going then, shall I?
Everything okay, Kate?
Yeah, fine.
We'll catch up later.
Sure. I best make sure there's plenty of milk then.
Well, that sounds lovely, Mavis. I'll have a hobnob with mine.
Mrs. Ryder. Really, Dr. Kouali, if you could remember enough to pass basic medicine, I'd have thought you could remember that at least.
That's my aunt's name. Mavis. My favourite aunt.
We found him late last night, but we thought it'd be okay to wait till the morning before calling you. Was that all right?
It's okay, Mrs. Jordan.
He just looked so peaceful at last. And he hasn't been for so long. I just wanted him to have one night of peace before... Well, before...
Really, it's okay. When did you realise that he had died? When did you find him?
I didn't. It was Andrew, my husband, Henry's brother.
It was about 4 o'clock this morning. I checked in on him. I often did, you know, just to make sure he was comfortable. I'd been sleeping much anyway. The worry, I suppose. We knew he hadn't got long.
We've just been waiting.
But I did sleep last night after he'd gone. Didn't even need a sleeping pill. I suppose it was because I knew that he was at rest finally. I could rest too.
It must have been a big strain on you both.
Henry and I don't know, but we always knew when the other was in pain. We always knew what the other was thinking.
It was more than just being close.
That's why I know he's at peace now. It'll be all right, love.
So, how's your sleeping been?
Come on, you're the doctor. Patient is suffering with post-traumatic stress, disturbed sleep patterns. You should know that.
So you're still having trouble nights? Okay. Is it broken sleep?
It's getting better. I still wake up early hours, can't go back to sleep. Don't know why, it always seems worse at that time.
Yeah, at night we have time to reflect, so it's easier for memories to come floating back.
Yes. Yes. It's still. I'm in bed. There's no physical distractions. There's no people, no noise. Just me. And my brain. And I don't seem to be able to shut it out with everyday distractions. Work, music, drink, whatever.
Have you had any further thoughts on what we were talking about in our last session?
You mean about why I still feel guilty about it? Yes. I still can't shut out the images because I'm punishing myself. And I'm punishing myself because I am guilty.
Look, it's hard to differentiate between being actively responsible and feeling you should have been able to do something about it, but we've been through the reports. You know there's nothing you could have done.
Have I told you about the bugle?
The bugle? No.
Any chance for coffee?
Right. I think that's it for now. You've been in touch with the funeral director?
Oh, yes, we were prepared for it. They'll be here later this afternoon.
Are you sure you're okay, Andrew? I don't like the sound of that cough.
I'm all right. Few nights' sleep and I'll be fighting fit.
Well, why don't you come into the surgery? I'll give you a proper check-over.
I'm fine.
He doesn't like a fuss, Doctor. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on him. Now, how about that cup of tea I promised you?
Yeah, why not?
And perhaps we could break into that Battenberg, eh?
Yeah, why don't we?
Hey, guys, I'm having a whip round.
Forget it. I'm fed up with putting money in the kitchen and then someone else eats all the biscuits.
Oh, I promise I'll buy some later. I think we should get Mrs. Ryder some flowers or a card.
What?
Oh, she's a bit sad about leaving us.
She's only been here a few days.
Well, it seems like an eternity. My donation days are over.
Yeah, forget it, Ben. No wonder we keep running out of milk. It's her expression turning it sour.
Oh, come on, guys, it's a small gesture.
Yeah, I've got a small gesture for her.
Dr. Maguire?
Oh, come on, it won't hurt.
I tell you what does hurt, Dr. Kwame.
What?
Mrs. Pullman's ingrowing toenail. And it's not going to get any better with you chit-chatting in here, is it?
No, I'll be off right away.
She's been waiting 10 minutes already, poor woman. I don't know how you're going to cope when I've gone.
We'll just have to be brave.
Is this you, Andrew?
He doesn't like to talk about it.
It's all right, Jane. She was only asking.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pry.
He was in Singapore, you see. Changi.
I'll still get nightmares. That's why I don't sleep much, I suppose. Always have done ever since.
I've heard.
It was a terrible time. He was lucky to survive. But come on now, let's not talk about it. There's been enough upset.
Of course. I'm sorry.
Andrew, give the doctor a nice slice of that Battenberg.
Thank you.
It was my 6th birthday, and I was having a bit of a party, some friends from school. And I knew I was adopted even then, because my parents had decided I should know right from the start. I'm sure they did the right thing.
Yeah?
Yes, they did the right thing telling me. But I always felt different somehow from the other kids at school. Especially on my birthday.
Perhaps your feelings of being different were heightened by your knowledge you're being adopted.
And we were playing this game. British Bulldog, something. And I fell down and I hurt myself. It wasn't bad, I just scraped my knee. And my dad wasn't there. He was preparing the pitch for a big match. but my grandfather was there. And he could see that I'd fallen over and hurt myself, and I was trying not to cry. And he called me his brave little soldier, and he gave me his bugle. Sort of special birthday present.
His bugle?
He was in the army. First World War. He saw a lot of action. Never really talked about it, though. Wonder what he'd make of all this.
I think it's very important you're telling me about this. It's something your grandfather gave you to stop the pain when your father wasn't there. Now, I'm just wondering whether this experience wasn't reactivated in Kosovo. Amidst all the guilt and chaos, and seemingly no one able to help. Oh, father figure, if you will.
Yeah, there was a connection to the past, that bugle.
Hmm?
Mm. It was like a talisman to me. So maybe something was seeded when he gave it to me. I didn't realise about till later.
Sure.
So maybe you're right. I was 16 when my dad died. And I was lost. My grandfather had died some years earlier. And for the first time in my life, I was utterly alone.
You've talked a lot about your father and your grandfather, but what about your mother?
She was lost in her own grieving. We weren't really connecting. To be honest, I don't think we ever did. But I remember holding that bugle in my hands and thinking, I'm going to join the army. Just like that. 16.
Not surprised. Seems like your grandfather was the only real protective figure in your childhood.
But I didn't join up then. They persuaded me to get an education first. So I won a scholarship into the army. But that was the moment.
And the bugle?
I sold it this morning. And I took the money and I bought a camera. That bugle's been a part of my life for so long. I think that's a positive step. Don't you?
I'm just wondering what prompted you to do it. To replace such an important object with a camera.
I bought the camera because I wanted to create some new images. Some positive images. I think that's a positive move.
You referred to the bugle earlier as a talisman.
Yes.
Do you believe it brought you luck?
I should have been in that Jeep. I could have gone to get that map, but I sent someone else to go and get that map. And I watched that Jeep blow up, and I watched him die. And there was nothing I could do. There was nothing. That should have been me.
Might have, Mark. Not sure. Anyone could have gone back for that map. No one was to blame, least of all you. The selling of the bugle could be symbolic of your decision to take the next step.
Sort of sacrifice to the gods for my good fortune. For my survival. Either way, I think it shows I'm ready to make the next move.
I want you to bring him into the surgery, Jean. Give him a proper checkup.
Well, I'm sure he'll be fine.
I'm sure he will be too. I want you to bring him in anyway. It's probably just a touch of bronchitis.
Well, he won't want to. I think he's worried it's something more serious. His twin brother dying. And you can see how it is. He thinks he's going to be next. Any time now.
Well, all that worry won't help him, will it? I'll make some time this afternoon, okay?
Well, can't you just give him a check-up here?
I would, but I've got another house call to go to. Come in this afternoon. I'll see you then.
I spoke to Kate earlier,
Yeah?
and I just wanted to say I'm glad everything's working out.
All right. Right.
I know things are going to be difficult for you both, what with work and the baby and everything, and so if there's anything you want me to do, just ask.
Yeah, sure. Listen, Helen, thank you for what you did for me and Kate. Made a difference.
You don't have to say anything, Mac.
I do, actually.
I'll consider it said. There was something else, though.
What?
Jude had a patient, a young boy called Bradley Chambers, whose appendix perforated.
But he's better now.
Yes, but it perforated after Jude missed a house call. His mother's made a formal complaint.
And you didn't tell me about this earlier?
Because we weren't sure whether she'd make a complaint. And you haven't exactly been open to communication of late.
And so you...
Told Jude to talk to her legal advisor as soon as possible.
You did the right thing.
It looks like a mild infection. So I'll give you a prescription for a course of antibiotics and you'll be as right as rain in no time.
Thanks, Doctor.
I was fearing the worst. It sounds silly, I know, but...
What?
Well, Henry dying and us being identical twins. All our lives, if one of us was in pain, the other felt it too. We were connected in some way, no matter where we were.
Well, it's not uncommon.
And then he died, and I thought, I can't have long now to last. I thought you were going to tell me I was really ill, and that I was going to die.
Oh, no, you're in fine shape. It's just a mild infection, so try not to worry.
Come on, then. We'd best get home. There's things to be organising.
And I'm sorry for your loss.
I do sense you're feeling more ready to make this move.
I am. I went to the army cemetery yesterday and I put some flowers on the memorial. I've not been able to do that before.
That's good, Mark. It's an enormous step in your grieving process.
I didn't die. I didn't die. So perhaps it's time I started to live again.
What's up? What is it? Henry!
It's all right, Jane. He's going to be okay.
But he couldn't breathe.
I wish you'd let me call an ambulance.
Oh, he won't go into hospital. You heard what he said.
Well, I can't force him, but I'd prefer it if he was monitored properly.
I'll keep an eye on him, but he is going to be all right. He is going to be all right, isn't he?
Yes, I'm sure he is. He's had a bad reaction to the medicine I prescribed, so I've given him an injection to help him recover, and he's out of danger. Just keep him comfortable.
I don't know what I'd have done.
I'm just a bit puzzled. There's nothing on his notes about being allergic to penicillin.
He's always been as fit as a horse, Andrew. He never did trouble much with medicines and the like.
Well, like I say, just keep him comfortable. He's going to be fine.
No, it's you who'll be doing me the favour. What time? Okay, do you know the leather bar? No, it's not an S&M club. Okay, I'll see you there then. Trust me, the pleasure will be all mine.
Something wrong?
Yeah. Look, Kate, I'm going to have to pop out for a while. I'll try not to be too long. You might as well tell me, Jane.
But it's done now. I mean, no one need ever know, need they?
I have to report it. Why did you do it? I don't understand.
It was Andrew's idea.
The real Andrew? Why did you say it was your brother-in-law that had died and not your husband? Why switch names? Why the deception?
Andrew, my husband, he knew he was about to die. Well, we all did, but he wanted me to go on getting his army pension.
You won't get that now?
No, and I won't get a war widow pension because he didn't die of injuries he got during the war. That's a joke, because that man was as injured as anyone. But they weren't injuries that showed. The strain on his heart and living with those memories year after year, that's what killed him.
I'm sorry, Jane.
It was the twins. They come up with the idea. I told them it wasn't right. But they thought, well, no one had ever been able to tell them apart anyway, and what was the harm, and no one need ever know.
Henry could have died, Jane. I didn't know he was allergic to penicillin. It could have been very serious.
I know it was stupid, but Andrew insisted. He'd always taken care of us, and he was worried that after he was gone, I wouldn't be able to take care of both of us on my own.
I signed the death certificate, Jane. I'm sorry, but I have to report it.
The suffering he went through in Changi. All those years, and he never got over it. Never. And there was no help for him. Oh, I know they're changing things now, but it's too little too late.
I know. I wish I could help, but my hands are tied.
Just think about it. Please, just think about it. No one need ever know. Henry's too old to go to prison. Oh, I'm happy, all right, but it would kill Henry.
Got a secret admirer, Ben?
Where's Mrs. Ryder?
Oh, she's already left for the bus, I'm afraid. Don't tell me you had a crush on her.
No. I just thought we'd get her a little something to say thank you for helping us out.
Oh, well, it's your money.
Actually, it's a tea fund.
There still aren't any biscuits. I thought you said you were going to get some.
Look, I think I'll go and catch her up. Oh, Mr. Ryder. You almost forgot these.
What's all this?
We all clubbed together. Just to say thank you, Mr. Ryder.
Somehow I find that hard to believe, but... Well, thank you, Dr. Kawami. And it's Mavis.
He was receiving a war disablement pension, and that stops when he dies, and they need it. She's looking after Henry, and she doesn't think they can cope. She'll have to sell the house and maybe put him into a home. Just doesn't seem right.
Well, you've got no choice.
She's right, though. Probably people would never know. They were identical twins. I couldn't tell the difference.
Apart from Henry was allergic to penicillin. Apart from the fact that he never ever served in the army because he was asthmatic.
I know. I just can't see them in a police cell. And Jane's right, it could kill him.
Jude, you've got a major complaint hanging over you already. What is this? Have you got a death wish? Or don't you want to be a doctor anymore?
Of course I want to be a doctor.
Well then.
The main thing is we both agree it was all my idea, okay?
Oh, of course it's not okay.
I promised your brother I'd take care of you.
Yeah, well, maybe now it's my turn. Maybe now it's my turn to take care of you. And him.
Off on your hot date then, Helen?
Well, you know what they say.
Oh, tell me.
I'll tell you tomorrow.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Jordan, but I had to speak to the coroner's office. I had to amend the death certificate.
That's okay, dear, really. Come and have a look.
We had no right to place you in this position.
Yeah, it was wrong of us.
Andrew deserves to be buried in his uniform.
We've already decided, dear. We should never have asked you. We're ready to tell the truth.
He deserves the truth. He deserves a hero's burial.
And we're ready to take the consequences.
We are.
Like I said, I've spoken to the coroner's office and I told them I made a mistake on the death certificate. I put the wrong brother's name down. My mistake, not yours. There's been no crime here. You've made no claims, have you? Just a simple clerical mistake made by an overworked doctor. Nothing further will happen.
Oh, we don't know what to say.
You don't have to say anything. I think there's been enough suffering all round, don't you? For all of you.
Hi.
Helen. Great to see you. White wine?
Yeah, thanks.
Chardonnay, please.
You've been waiting long?
No, not long.
You haven't changed your mind then?
Not at all.
Good. I'll be seeing you on Monday.
You certainly will.
So what do I call you? Major Mark or...?
No. It's just Mark now. Or Dr. Elliot, if you really want to be formal.
Well, Dr. Elliot, welcome to Riverside. Mac's sorry he couldn't be here tonight, but he's delighted you've agreed to join us. As we all are. Welcome to the team.
Cheers.